these fantastic inclusions that I mean, most of your homes have larger budgets, and I think that one of the things I always find with architects that are working on higher budget homes is they didn't necessarily start there, and they, started on lower cost projects, and these things have expanded as they've explored and been able to attract clients with higher budgets. But there's these fantastic inclusions that are part of that surprise and delight process. You recently did a pool that disappears, and it's just this fantastic, like something out of James Bond, and so
I was there today. Yeah.
it's just awesome. So, and I suppose it takes an adventurous client. There must be times where you think, oh, this is going to be an awesome idea. I wonder if they're going to, be able to we're going to be able to convince them of this. How do you suggest homeowners who might not have the budget of a disappearing pool actually go about creating opportunities for surprise and delight in their homes? Because it's such a big part of making a home feel great. How do you look for these opportunities, and what are you sort of focusing on, and how could that relate to a homeowner who's on a slightly lower budget?
So I love the question and I love the topic. And yes, when you have a higher budget, there are more options available. But the good news for both designers and homeowners is that creativity is not on a budget. It's not at the expense of anything, really. And so what comes to mind is multiple uses for the same space. We just love to ask, who's it for and what's it for? And sometimes we can depart from the typical real estate driven function of a space. Sometimes it's the idea that a client wants two spaces. They want an office and a guest bedroom, but we are tasked with how do we create both of those wonderful functions, and how can they coexist in a single space? Often it's something as simple as a sliding interior wall or a pocketing door. Sometimes it's secret, hidden, delightful storage areas. Other times it's about using a more low-cost window system, but burying the frame in the wall to make it look more slender and high-end. And so I just feel like when the architect and homeowner have a strong relationship, they can communicate less in a prescriptive way, like give me this thing, draw this thing, and more about making hopes and dreams come to life. Like, how do we best capture the experience of sitting at your desk and being able to see what your kids are doing and being able to greet whoever's at the door. And it's often just kind of letting go of the preconception about what a traditional home is like. And if you just go through the motion of describing who's it for and what's it for, often there can be a simple solution that is inventive and surprising and delightful. And it doesn't need to break the bank. At least in our experience, it's been, I would say, even the most rewarding when the budget is a variable that we get to contend with as professionals. And honestly, even on the highest end projects, the projects that are north of $1,500 a square foot, even then, budget's still a conversation. How do we accomplish this in a way that is sensible and not wasteful? And so it's just a conversation I think clients and architects need to be comfortable having, and make sure that the dollars go to the right priorities.
Yeah, and I think I encourage the UA community to think about their budget, whatever it is, that it's actually an investment in the type of lifestyle that they want to lead in their homes, and to not see it as a shopping list of bundles of money to spend on something, but instead, where are you going? Where is that investment going to make the biggest difference? And what is causing you true frustration every day, that that an investment of budget will just completely transform your life. And often it's actually not. It's not sheep stations. It's not a really big deal. It's the frustration of a kitchen that doesn't work, or having no storage in a home, or it being dark inside all the time, and not being able to see the back garden when the kids are playing. And it's really simple, functional stuff that, when we think about our budget and how we spend it in those terms, really liberates us from, well, I want the stone bench tops, or I want the big window, or I want the 3-meter ceilings, or the 10-foot ceilings, or, all those kinds of things that really can cloud our ability to be clear about what is going to make a difference to our lifestyle. So I think that I really appreciate your answer, and I think that every homeowner should have that conversation with their designer about how will this home surprise and delight me every day, so that when I walk in, I'm immediately anchored to everything that home means to me, and I can immediately access that sense of relaxation and restoration and togetherness that I want for my family. You know, what will this home do to deliver that to us? And it becomes an entirely different conversation then, rather than, I need 4 bedrooms, I need 2 living areas, I need a double car garage, you know. So I think that, I think if we can focus on that, it's a lovely way to go about creating homes.
Hi, now before you go, I just wanted to share with you, there are 3 big mistakes that I see homeowners make when they're planning their renovation or building project. Mistakes that cause huge amounts of stress, cost overruns, time blowouts, and really ultimately make the journey of renovating and building much more difficult. Want to know what they are? Well, the first of those 3 mistakes is that people just dive into the process. They don't really prepare for it. They don't really understand what are the right steps to take and when, and they just barrel in. And I think homeowners do this because it's a big, overwhelming process building or renovating your home. It involves a lot of big decisions, a lot of money. But unfortunately, if you're only ever taking steps ahead, not really knowing the full picture, it's very easy to get lost, misled, end up in a completely the wrong spot, and for it to be very expensive and time consuming to get yourself out of that position. The second mistake that I see homeowners make is they make themselves a target. A lot of homeowners tell me actually they feel like they're walking around with a target on their forehead just waiting to be taken advantage of. But unfortunately, a lot of homeowners don't do the work required to really inform themselves so that they know how to sift and filter the advice that they're receiving, so that they know how to not fall for the dodgy operators, and so that they know when they're being told something that they want to hear rather than what they need to hear. When you know how to put the right team of people around you and you know how to trust the advice that you're receiving, it will completely change the game for your renovation or building journey. The third mistake that I see homeowners make is that they don't invest in the design. The design, of course, is the lines, the spaces, the volumes that are drawn as lines on a page, but end up becoming the rooms and the home that you ultimately live in. And so many homeowners really struggle because they know that this is something going to be long term, that their decisions are going to have a big impact on how they get to live their lives, and yet really fear stuffing it up, making decisions that they think that they'll regret long term. When you know how to get the design right, how to create a home that not only works for you now but into the future, then you can move with certainty towards that future finished home, knowing that it'll actually deliver the dream that you're hoping it will and create a beautiful lifestyle for you and your family. I would love you to check out my 2 online courses. I have one for Australian homeowners called How to Get It Right in Your Reno or New Home, and I have one for American homeowners called the Welcome Home course. If you don't know the steps from start to finish of your renovation or building journey, from the point of talking with your local authority through putting your team together, getting the design right, getting all of your approvals, choosing your contractor or builder and getting your home built, that's exactly what these courses will help you do. I lay out step by step my own system that I've been using in over 250 projects in over almost 25 years in this industry, and I explain it to you in a step-by-step way that you can put into action on your project. I also help you really focus on what are the core fundamentals of a well-designed home. What does it look like to achieve good design? I have got minimum recommendations for dimensions. I've got some key things to help really pull out of you what it's going to be that you want from your home, so that you can really communicate that with the people that you're working with and get really clear on what's going to make a big difference for you and your family's lifestyle in your home. And I also have lots of tools and guides so that you can pull the right team together. You can sift and filter the advice that you're receiving. You can know that you're moving in the right direction. You can always be working to save money and time and stress, and you can really get bang for buck in how you spend your budget overall, so that you can make sure that you stretch that money that you have as far as it possibly can go. And ultimately, these courses are all about helping you create that future family home that you're dreaming of, that is perfect for you and your family, and that ultimately helps you feel great and that you feel great in. So again, for Australian homeowners, it's How to Get It Right in Your Reno or New Home. And for American homeowners, I teamed up with Eric Reinholdt of 30 by 40 Design Workshop. He's an award-winning American architect based in Maine, and we created the Welcome Home course. The links are below for you to check out both of these courses. I would love to see you on the inside and really help you create that future family home that you're dreaming of and get it right whilst you save time, money and stress.